Alright, what's up everyone, my name is Sen, welcome back to the channel, and some more Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, in my opinion, one of the most fun parts about playing fighting games is combos. I absolutely love long and extensive combos, and Dragon Ball FighterZ is one of the cases where you're gonna get just that. Now, even in a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where the combos are fairly homogenous from one character to another, there's still its fair extent of combo variety from character to character. So naturally, in a game with such cool combos, people are going to want to learn them, and while some people may find it pretty easy to learn some of these combos, others may struggle and kind of have a bit of a tough time, and that's what I wanted to talk a bit about today. Now, I have a friend, aka Jason, who actually asked me recently to play Blue Vegeta because he wanted to learn some of his combos, and also I saw he's been picking up a little bit of Base Vegeta as well. Now, both Base Vegeta and Blue Goku were huge hurdles for me to learn their loops. Took me a little while. Blue Goku was a little bit easier to get the hang of, and it wasn't until I watched a Lotus Core video where he was making sounds based on the timing that I learned Base Vegeta's corner loops and kind of got more comfortable with that. But needless to say, they both took a lot of practice. Now, I played Base Vegeta for a little while before I knew how to do his loops, and once I found out how to do his loops, or figured out there was loops, I tried to learn how to do them. I struggled, and because I couldn't do them, I ended up putting down the character for a different character at the time, which in hindsight, terribly stupid. Just learn. If you're like struggling with a combo, just learn it in your free time and continue to play the character, because all you're gonna do is you'll get there. Like, it's not as if that combo or anything like that is his only way of getting damage. You have the combos that you did before you found out there was the more optimal version or more optimal damage on the table. So yeah, stupid move on my part. Don't let a combo or anything like that stop you from playing a character. You can always figure out how to do a combo or something like that later, or figure out tech later. Just keep on developing that character that you are currently playing. If you like the character, play them. So for those of you that don't know the combo in question, I'm sure a lot of you do know it, but it's actually this. Just basic loops in the corner. And I just dropped it there, but that was first try, no warm-up or anything like that. So if I had been practicing and still playing the game, I'd probably still have them just as good as I used to. So yeah, that's the basic idea of the loop. That prevented me from playing the character, and it's kind of a similar idea from Adult Gohan too. He had his leg loops in the corner. I couldn't do them, so I didn't feel like I wanted to play the character because of that. Eventually I did figure it out, but it was stupid of me to not play the character because of it. So first things first, let's start with the concept of just building muscle memory. It's going to take a while to overwrite your muscle memory and kind of develop and build new combos or new habits or anything like that. That's going to be the case with anything that you want to develop in any game, whether that's combos or neutral decisions or things that you do after like certain decisions, things you do in light of certain situations that come up, responses, so on. Building or breaking muscle memory and setting new muscle memories, freaking rough. Like, you know, I used to just, you know, mash the square button like everyone else. Eventually, over time, you know, you develop, you realize that, hey, something needs to change. I could keep doing this, but it's not, like, there is going to be a ceiling for this. There's going to be a place where this stops working and stops being effective. So you pick up new combos, whether that's just like basic stuff, like just basic jump cancels and into supers. And even then, like, I don't have Base Vegeta's most optimal stuff. Like, I don't even know if this is his most optimal anymore, but I can't do his mid-screen corner loops consistently. Like, I practiced it for a while, and essentially to no avail. Oh my god. I can't even tell you how much of a struggle it was for that one fucking rep. Fuck that shit, bro. Alright, so first point that Jason brings up is that he's saying conceptually and everything that combos and loops and stuff, they make sense, but when he actually tries to like apply them and try to learn them, it's like learning a different language, which I get. The biggest tip I could give, and this is going to be the main bit of advice here, is in this game, in any game, if you're struggling with a combo, break it down into steps. The best thing you can do is to break it down into little chunks until you get that committed to memory, and then move on to the next chunk and so on. So if I want to do Vegeta's loops in the corner, I'm going to take that whole combo right there and break it down bit by bit. Now, I will be explaining this combo, even though I'm sure a lot of you guys already know how to do this. And the first bit of the combo is pretty, like, very basic, like, B&B. Like, this isn't a terribly hard combo as far as notation or doing anything excessive. It is just purely timing based and, like, understanding the timing. Alright, so this combo really just starts off as a B&B, and this is how I started off. I think you could probably start it off pretty much anyway. The only thing that's important is the second half to get things started. So I could literally do light, medium, but I do light, light, down, medium, medium, jump, medium, light, light. So every JM you land, you're awarded 2 lights. If you're high enough, obviously they'll connect. So you'll see that I do the medium, light, light right there. So after that medium, light, light, I'll do J2H to launch them. And then super dash, and then after the super dash, you'll meet them with a medium. Okay, first tip for the base Vegeta loops. After you see the JM land, that is when you do your Ki Blast, I would say. So immediately after you see the JM hit, then throw your Ki Blast. So there is a bit of a delay. Next up is the timing for the lights. So this one's the hardest to explain. So yes, there is a delay, even from the first light light. You're not gonna rush your light light. So what happens when I rush the lights and try to go into a Ki Blast is that when you do light light in the air, it brings you closer to your enemy. Like, it kind of like vortexes you in, it brings you closer, and that's why you need that delay. You need the certain amount of spacing, that way the Ki Blast will project them downwards enough to award you your next rep of the loop. It's really hard to convey something like timing exactly. So the tip I could give is, if you are too close to your opponent and don't have enough space, obviously you need to space out your light attacks more. If you find yourself getting farther away, you can kind of almost correct for that mid-combo by pressing the light attack a bit faster to bring you in a bit closer. So if I, like, obviously there's a parameter where it's just far too late, but you can kind of make up for it by, like, pressing the light button in sequence slightly faster to get yourself closer to your opponent, if that makes any sense. Some loops are 110% easier than others. Like Trunks' loop, not very hard to do. Like, the input's a little weird, but as far as timing, you can kind of just do it. It doesn't demand a lot as far as timing. You just kind of instantly buffer it. It'll come out as soon as possible. You'll get your move. There's no spacing as timing. I would say there's a bit more, like, comfort room. There's a bit more play in base Vegeta's loop than there is Goku Blue's. You can kind of mess around with the timing a little bit more, make up for certain things in your timing. But Goku Blue's is, I would say, easier to nail. It's funny because base Vegeta technically has a easier loop, the ground corner loop, which I kind of skipped over. Like, I know the basics of how to do it, but I just never do it. I never try to do it. And honestly, I'm actually worse at the ground corner loop than I am his, like, standard corner loops. Like, it's actually an easier loop. Still does pretty good damage. It's just, I'm so much worse at it because I don't practice it. But the cool thing is, once you start to learn different concepts and more about your character, you start to experiment and find out new things. Like, for example, like, this is not a crazy combo by any means, but I did this on one of my viewers, and he is like, that was so sick, I need to steal that instantly. And it made me feel good. Yeah, even though it's not the craziest thing in the world, it's like a cool little thing. It's a cool little bit of new tech. So, you know, it's a little saucy. Dude, combos are addicting. They're so much fun. Best bit of advice, break it down into parts. And if you're having trouble, try writing the combo down and breaking in the segments that you want to practice. Yeah, if you guys have any tips as far as the timing is concerned with base Vegeta's loops, let us know in the comments below. I'm sure it'll be able to help somebody out. And also let me know, what was one of the combos that broke you? What was one of the combos that you struggled with? Whether it was in this game or maybe a different game like Marvel or Street Fighter or whatever it is, let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.